Hi, folks. Welcome to another episode of Ferrum Wrestling 411. I'm your host, Gary Holden. With me, of course, is head wrestling coach Nate Yetzer. Nate, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
Let's talk a little bit about your summer. You must have had a great time. 4 boys at home now. You and Leah do a little traveling with them this summer?
Yep, a little bit. Traveling with 4 kids is really hard, so we try not to. We went to the beach a couple of times, and they love that. And, did some travel myself with the camps we got going on, so I went to a few places, and so it was a good time.
Where did you end up going for camps this year?
We were all over, but we did one up in Ohio. We did one in Temecula, California, and then we did one in. We were supposed to do one in Denver, but the flight got canceled and delayed and all that stuff, so we ended up not doing that one. But we were all over the summer, so it was good.
Did I see you did a clinic or something up in New Jersey as well?
Not yet. We're actually go up there. We usually go up there every fall, do one at the Patriot Wrestling Club up there, ran by a couple of my buddies from college on that, and had a lot of luck bringing a lot of good kids down from that club into our program.
Great. Well, that's a nice way to double up and do some recruiting as well. So. Talking a little bit about recruiting, tell me how it went. We already had our first eligibility meeting. It looks like you had 50-something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I think we started off really slow in our recruiting last year, and really picked up at the end. And I think I saw a lot of them this summer. They came to camp, and I was really impressed with what I saw. I was like, we were a little further along than I thought we were with some of them, and especially down in the lower weights, we got some really good, a lot of competition down there. So,
really?
From 33 on to 57, there's probably 2 good freshmen for each weight class.
And your lightweights already were kind of like have been the core of this program.
Absolutely, and they're older though. I mean, a lot of our guys at those weights are older. Zimmerman, Robert Cunningham, and Meister. Those guys are all seniors next year. So, so we looking forward, I knew those weights are going to be high need for us. So went after that. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that senior class. You've got yourself a big group. You've got Zimmerman. He's down at 33 or 41. Yep. Robert Cunningham at 33 or 41. Logan Meister at 57 again. He's your All-American. Of course, he's a rock for you.
Absolutely.
And then you got Tate Delaney anchoring things up at the heavyweight.
Absolutely. So. And then we have Jacob Bonds, who has 3 semesters left. Yep. But he's going to. This will probably be his final year competing because he'll graduate the following semester. So. Jacob, and then also Hunter Duvall, who's been with the program since the beginning as well too. And
Jacob comes out of that powerhouse program, Christiansburg High School, just over the mountain from us.
Absolutely, yep. And finished strong. Or he had a great year, a great end of the year last year. Was our starter at 41, and then got a knee injury against the Liberty match, and wasn't able to compete at the regional tournament. So, but was really starting to come into his own, and I expect that to carry over to this year. So.
Good. Well, let's talk a little bit about your schedule. I know that the regionals are not going to be held here at Ferrum. I know we did it a couple of years ago and everything. But talk a little bit about where you're going this year. Any big hot spots on your schedule?
Well, I think the one new one that stands out is the National Duels. We got invited to that, which the top 18, I believe, returning teams from the year before get invited to that. So we got invited to that. We're going to go up there. It's up in Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
How big is that for your program, Nate?
Huge, I think, and I think this year, a good year for us to go up there and compete. There's years past where we could have went up, but I think, now we're competitive enough where we can go up there and do some damage. I just don't want to go up there and go 0-2. So, and I think we're at a place where, if we're healthy, we could compete with about anybody up there. So.
Well, I think last year you guys showed that you have the ability to compete with a lot of teams. You went out to that tournament, that one tournament. I think it was out in Ohio.
Yeah, Mount Union Duels.
Knocked off a couple of ranked teams.
I think 3 out of the 5 teams, 3 or the 4 teams we wrestled were ranked in the country, beat them all. So a good weekend for us.
Popped you guys into the national rankings.
Yep, absolutely. First time as a program, I think we were 21st at one point. So, so that's something to build off of. I'm even more excited about this because we have some guys. Robert Cunningham wasn't really healthy all year long last year. Couldn't train really, on a consistent basis, and he looks great right now. Got cleared to wrestle and
lost in the qualifying match to go to the NCAA tournament. Was winning it and got reversed at the end. Lost by a point. So
and Logan Meister, obviously is All-American. He was undersized last year, and this summer, in fact, most of August, he really focused on lifting, and he's weighing about 170 now. So he's put on a good weight, and
he'll still wrestle 57.
Yep.
How much of a cut will that be for him?
Not at all. I mean, he has to keep it up that. I want him to keep it up that high, just for the fact that last year, as the year wore on, I think the last weigh-ins at nationals, he was like 4 under. Which you can't be at that level. So And I think so. I'm looking for big things for him. I think he's added more to his wrestling. Spent the summer here, camps and training and everything. So I think that's important. So.
And you got a couple guys in the upper weight classes, 84 and 97 that are flip-flopping this year. Talk a little bit about that dynamic.
Adam Bresson took 5th last year in the regional.
Yeah,
kind of had a
good.
really great end of the year.
Yep.
It was kind of in flux whether you'd even start at the end of the year.
And you come up with a couple pins at the regionals.
Yep, absolutely. Won the conference, beat Adam Fitzwater, who was the starter. So Adam became the starter, and then he went on to carry that success over to regionals and did very well. And really should have made the nationals. He was beating the guy. He was going back and forth. The guy who ended up taking 3rd. He got caught at the end with the cradle, but. And then Hunter Goulart, who cut a lot of weight as a freshman to get down to 84. I give him a lot of respect because he did it for the team. I think because he's probably a 97-pounder, and so they're going to flop. Adam can shrink down a little bit more. Hunter got really big this summer, so
he looked big when I saw him earlier.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So they flop, and I think both will have more success that way. I think.
Good.
I do.
Good.
So.
Well, it's exciting to see how that's going to go. Nate, let's talk a little bit about your fundraising efforts. I know that you've got this Blue Ridge Wrestling Club, training club that you do up in Roanoke and everything. Tell fans a little bit about that.
Well, I guess first, the Panther Club is obviously a great way for people to help us out. And contrary to popular belief, all this traveling and stuff, and we try to take care of our athletes. It comes at a cost, obviously.
Sure.
And so. Obviously fundraising is a huge part of our success, and for us to keep climbing and catch the Augsburg and Wartburgs of the world, and we're going to have to keep raising funds, in order to supplement our budget and all that. So, the Panther Club is a great avenue for that. The Blue Ridge Wrestling Club is the name of our regional training center now. It used to be the Panther Wrestling Club, but it got a little confusing. There's another club out in Iowa that has the same name. So we switched to that, and that's a great resource for our guys to wrestle freestyle in the off season and that sort of thing. So and people can also donate to that as well too.
All right. So how do people get in touch with you for Panther Wrestling?
They can just email me. They can email me, and wherever they want their funds to go, I can kind of direct them what the best way that's going to help us out. And they're both nonprofit, so obviously tax write-offs.
Email address Yetzer Nyetzer at ferrum.edu.
Yep, Nyetzer at ferrum.edu.
Okay, folks, if you're looking to donate some money to help out the wrestling program, that's how they can help you put your money into the right places.
And any amount helps. It really does. $5. I mean, we have somebody donating $6 a month, and it adds up, over time. So. Sure,
absolutely. Nate, I want to talk about last year. University of Iowa had a huge wrestling match in their football stadium. They called it Grapple on the Gridiron. They wrestled Oklahoma State, two of the most storied wrestling programs in the country, and drew 40-something thousand.
Yep.
I understand we're going to do something similar to that in our football stadium with our black and gold scrimmage. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're going to do our wrestle off. Our scrimmage is going to be held in the football stadium. The homecoming weekend. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere. Friday night, right before the fireworks.
Nice.
We're going to have it in the football stadium.
Fireworks are Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. I'm sorry. Yep. So Friday night's the black and gold match, and then Saturday is the football game and the fireworks. So it's a great weekend. Maybe a great weekend. We're actually going to set up a tailgate as well down in Bassett Field. Wrestling up about 2 tents set up, and I'm looking to get actually a satellite for put on some college football games as well too during the tailgate and all that. So it should be a great atmosphere, and we're gonna have a bunch of food there and stuff. It's $5 a person just to help with some of the costs.
And that's Saturday. That's Saturday.
That's Saturday. Yep. So it's gonna be a fun weekend, man. It's gonna be a lot of wrestling. Wrestling actually starts Thursday night in our in the challenge tournament, which is how it works is me and my staff sit down. We figure out who the best guy in each weight is that we feel like's done the most. A lot of it's based on past results, and then everybody else in that weight class has to wrestle to that number one guy.
In the challenge tournament.
On Thursday.
That's down at the YMCA on Thursday. So.
That's usually,
and that's open to anybody to come?
Absolutely. That's actually one of our probably biggest draws all year is the challenge tournament because, obviously students come and they sit down and watch, people that they know.
Sure. I remember helping put extra chairs out last year around the mats, and they were just every chair was taken.
Yeah, but I think we usually have 300 or 400 people there for that match.
So then the black and gold is the final wrestle off. That's going to take place Friday night, 7:00 in the football stadium under the lights. So you'll roll the mats out, tape them all up on top of the field turf, the brand new field turf field and everything. So
it's going to be a great atmosphere. I'm working on a couple things where we're going to have a couple honorary coaches. The coaches team, we'll have the black team, the gold team, obviously, and it's just a great way for our guys to make weight and put a singlet on and wrestle in front of people, and because usually that's it's your worst time match you're going to have. So.
Well, it's homecoming
it's
weekend,
not always
too.
pretty.
Homecoming weekend, so for a lot of your alumni who can't see a lot of
Yep.
matches during the year because you travel so far, this is a great opportunity for fans and alumni to get a chance to see them right here on campus and everything. So we're excited about that.
Yep.
So, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next couple times that we have the show and everything.
Yep.
Nate, thanks again for being here.
Yep.
Folks, we're going to come on back in about 2 weeks, you said?
Yeah, about 2 weeks. We're going to probably do this show, try to do it every 2 weeks. During season, out of season, we do about once a month. Just keep everybody updated. But, yeah, I think every 2 weeks we'll probably, talk a little bit about how the weekends past went. And, yeah.
So the next show we come on, we'll probably be talking a little bit about maybe the weight classes, how things are starting to pan out and everything. Yep. And looking forward for your first competition, which is the Washington Elite Dual Meet here at home on November 5th.
Yep. We're going to pack that place. So.
Well, Nate, thanks again for being here. Folks, that's a wrap for today. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks for Ferrum Wrestling 411. For Nate Yetzer, I'm Gary Holden. Thanks for being with us.